Welcome back to Survivor, the £1 million final, and we have had so many votes in, way over 1 million already. We've already seen the 4 survivors, 2 who were initially voted off the islands, and the family and friends of our finalists, Johnny and Susanna. And we're now joined by the 6 members of the Tribal Council jury. So who will it be that will walk away with the £1 million? Well, the jury on the island have already cast their votes, but you at home are the 7th member of the jury. Don't forget this. Call and vote for who you want to win. If you want Susanna, call 090 11 980 201. And if you want Johnny to win the money, call 090 11 980 202. We'll reveal all the votes later in the show. But first, we're going to meet the jury again. They're together for the first time since they left Panama. Welcome, everybody. It's very good to see you back in civilization. Helen, we'll start with you. I gather things have been pretty crazy since you've been back home.
Yeah, just a little bit. We had a reporter try and knock on everybody's doors on the street and try and buy the story off them. And we also had a reporter that phoned up my granddad, who lives at the side of me, and asked for a story, to which he replied, I'm not telling you anything. She's gone off to Australia. If you want to know anything, go and find her in Australia. She's gone to visit relatives. I don't even have any relatives in Australia. So it was a surprise to find the next morning that there was a headline, Hot Bibs, Hot Tip to Oz. So, yeah.
All right, well, your feet are firmly on the ground. Bridget, you always said that you were one of the most famous girls in the farming world, but I gather that fame has recently been taken to the nth degree.
Yes, I had a phone call from my local hunt, and they wanted me to present a cheque to the District Nurses Association. And I said, well, of course I'll present the cheque, but there was a proviso. Would I wear my bikini? To which I replied, I think the British public have had enough of my body now.
Oh dear, so you let him down. Oh dear me. Drew, on a slightly more serious note, I do gather that the Survivor experience has really improved things for you for much the better.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. I had a very strained relationship with my mother, to say the least, and since being on Survivor, I took advice from Steve Flett, the psychologist, and I wrote a letter to her. She's since written back to me, and we're hoping to meet up next month.
Oh, that's excellent. Great. Dave, the fan of the Toon Army, what's been your enduring memory?
Oh, it's got to be the family value challenge. That's the highest and lowest point of the whole experience on the island. That's when my son Robert came out, and that was the highest point, obviously. But the lowest point is when we couldn't touch or speak. That was hard.
You couldn't touch or speak, and you
really hard.
You didn't half shout out afterwards, though. What did you shout out?
How's the wife?
No, you didn't. Eventually, you asked about the football.
Well,
first, you asked what happened last weekend. I want to know, has Rita, your wife, ever forgiven you?
She's great. She's forgiven me, eventually. I knew she would anyway, but, you know. Well, the experience we're going through now is just, it's unbelievable back home. We can't go anywhere without somebody coming up and shaking hands with us and tapping us on the back. And even, they've given us mobiles. I'm talking to strangers on mobiles. It's totally...
Well, we just had a look at Rita. We're going to move on to Alistair. What's been your lasting memory of Survivor?
I think one of the lasting memories was when I was standing opposite John, my chief adversary, and with this eye which was as big as my fist, and it was actually looking up at me, I think, when I put it in my mouth, biting through the gristle and tasting the pus. And I think that's, you know, I don't even eat Brussels sprouts at home, and I think that was the one
but you
for
see,
me.
we already knew there were local delicacies. We'd tested them ourselves. Let's have a reminder of how it happened.
Oh.
All right. Well, before you are the eyes of a jackfish. Let's dine. Yes, complete.
Well done, Ali. Excellent.
The size of a baby's head.
Oh, dear me. Well, John, we've just seen you in that clip. How have the public treated you? Everywhere I go, people are saying they wanted you to win Survivor.
Yeah, it's been quite strange, actually, you know, since I got back, particularly in work, because sometimes you find yourself representing a defendant in court who's more interested in what the fish eye tasted like rather than the 2 years in jail he's about to go down for. So,
How have you felt about coming third?
Strangely disappointed, actually. At the time when I got voted off, I was walking up the sort of walk of death with all the torches, smiling and giving it high fives to all the crew, and still felt quite happy. And then when I got back and talked to my girlfriend, I give it a bit of a sort of Homer Simpson, since I go, "Don't!" You suddenly realise it was £1 million. Gutted.
Okay. All right. Thank you to you six. It is worth repeating that this is the first time that we've all been together since Panama. In fact, just 2 are missing. And there are finalists, Johnny and Susanna, and here they are. Welcome, Susanna, and welcome, Johnny. How are those nerves now, you guys?
As bad as the first day.
As bad as the first day. One of the differences of this Survivor Series, it seems to me, from the last Survivor Series, was that you've all been so unbelievably nice to each other. Have a look at this.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hi, Susanna.
Hi.
Oh, no, it's...
Well done.
Really good.
Cheers. Nice one.
All right, well, you did have your moments, though. Why was everyone so nice?
I think maybe sort of a mixture of the personalities that went on this time, and I also think everybody on this Survivor Series this time saw last year's series, and they saw how some of the contestants came across, and I think nobody wanted to come across anything like a couple of other contestants in the first series.
All right. I mentioned you had your moments, but particularly with Bridget. Remember this moment?
Right, mate.
Thank you very much. You're a star.
No
My
problem.
hero.
You give Bridget an elbow in the back of the neck. Just for a sheer fucking cheek.
Sorry, mate, wasn't going to be a hot cup.
No. I have 1 cup of coffee when I get up, 1 at lunchtime with my parents, and maybe 1 when I get home, and maybe 1 later.
The most boring woman I know in the
Oh, no, that's X-rated, and you told us you were a caring person. Go on, explain that.
I'm really sorry, Bridget.
Susanna, your luxury
I know what's
item
coming,
was
Mark.
the complete works of Shakespeare, famously so in many ways as it happened. Your husband, Barnaby, wrote in it, "Shaft and prepare to be shafted." Is that how you played the game?
Yeah, I just hope he didn't mean that literally. No. No, I think one of the things, there are a lot of comments written in that book, and a lot of them were written kind of like lovely comments from a family about kind of like, just remember it's a game, kind of chin up, sweetheart, there's a pot of Marmite back home for you. That was from Mum. And that comment was really from Barney, just to remind me that it was all a game and to prepare myself to be done over by other people, because I think part of me was kind of really hoping that nobody would be as nasty as they were last year, and that wasn't something I was looking forward to.
Right. Talking of nasty,
Yeah.
we can't forget the way you broke that alliance with Lee, can we? Let's have a look at that.
Say one of us two decided to turn our back on each other and went with the 2 Johns.
Yeah.
There's no point in that, because when you get through the other side, their alliance is still going to be tight, and we're going to be the odd one out still, and we're going to go. So the only way we're going to get on in this group is if we stay together. Yeah. I spoke to John,
Thinking Batman.
but we're definitely together, yeah. I think it's our best way forward.
Oh, dear. And he's up there, Susanna. Have you anything to say to him now?
I
I hope you haven't got a gun concealed under your shirt, Lee, because I don't blame you if you shoot me with it. I'm going to buy you the biggest pint when we get off here. I'm really sorry for what we did. I was backed into a corner. I had a choice to make, and I hope you appreciate that I had to play the game. And we said before that nobody would do this kind of thing in real life. And I hope there's no hard feelings, because I really did get on with you.
Hard feelings. There'll be plenty of hard feelings, no question about that. We're soon going to find out who has ultimately played the better game. Join us after the break when I'll be counting the votes and revealing the winner of Survivor, the £1 million final. Welcome back to Survivor. Shortly, I'll be opening this urn, which contains the 6 votes made by the jury, and announcing the result of your vote at home to find out who's going to go home tonight with £1 million. Whether it be Johnny or Susanna, the impact of the money on their family and friends will be considerable. We spoke to some of them to find out how they reacted to this Survivor experience.
I think everybody has a lot of respect for Johnny. He's been trustworthy and loyal. And I really think he deserves it because he's been himself. There's no pretentious side to Johnny Gibb. What you see is what you get.
See, my dad does not like tattoos at all. And I think the first time I actually saw Johnny's tattoos was on television.
I thought, oh dear, they're worse than I had imagined.
So I think he got a bit of a shock.
If he wins the £1 million, I'll consider it a small price to pay.
Johnny has attracted a lot of attention. At work, some of his colleagues will come to him and ask for his autograph. They state it's for their children, but it's probably for their wives.
Johnny hasn't really changed much since he's about 7 years old. So I don't see the money sort of changing him if he was to win it. I don't see that at all. He'll still always be Johnny to us.
Susanna is an absolute star. She's showed throughout the series that she's just the perfect survivor, both physically and mentally.
She's been a very good competitor, I think. She's done her utmost all the time.
The things she's had to do, standing on that log, I couldn't stand still for 10 minutes, let alone 17 hours on a narrow beam.
It's a shame that sometimes people can just assume things based on the fact that Susanna does speak with a posh accent.
Susanna is absolutely not posh.
No way at all.
No way.
No posh.
Definitely not.
When she came to school, she's a cycling, she couldn't afford a car, and the car she could afford was a clapped-out old Astra. Which clapped out.
I'm very, very proud of her for getting that far. It's such a fantastic achievement.
I do think that Susanna deserves to win the challenge because she's my granddaughter.
Oh, Susanna, do you agree with Mum that the log stand was your finest hour?
It was amazing. I think it was amazing for all of us because it represented a real kind of crux in the whole game. I think people remember the log stand and me for another reason rather than just me standing there, unfortunately.
Do
but the boys did it as well.
No, do not go down that road. Johnny, you must have changed a bit since you were 7 years old.
A bit fatter maybe, but other than that, I don't think so.
No, you haven't changed. All right, well, we're getting closer and closer to the moment. The phone lines have now closed, and it's time to announce the result of the public vote. Nearly 1.5 million of you have voted. They've called in, and this is what they've come up with. Let's now see how that vote has gone. Johnny, you're one ahead. How do you feel?
It's just one vote so far, but yeah, I'm really grateful for everyone who's phoned in. Really glad. Oh, you all a pint. All of you.
Okay. Susanna, disappointment?
Well, I was hoping for 1% because then I could then go down kind of in reality TV schedules as kind of like being the most unpopular person ever to be on television. So I'm really disappointed, Mark.
All right. Well, on the night of the final tribal council, both finalists had the opportunity to address the jury, possibly the most important speeches of their lives.
Sometimes you may have seen me as kind of an arty-farty teacher with a posh accent.
Guys, I'm not going to try and sway your vote. Do you feel regret at any time in comments that you made in front of the camera?
Could you put your hand on your heart and say that you have been honest and truthful?
I feel that I have been largely honest.
I try to be myself, I try to be open. I haven't kept anything back from anybody.
Well, we've had a massive percentage in favour of Johnny. The jury cast their votes in the order that they had been voted off the island, writing down the name of the person they wanted to win the money. Those names were placed in the urn, which has remained sealed and locked away until now, and it really has remained sealed and locked away. And here, of course, lies the destiny of £1 million. And I'm now going to read out the votes. John was the last to vote, so his will be the very first vote out. And he votes for Johnny. Let's see now what John had to say.
Susanna, you've been a very worthy finalist, but I'm still unconvinced that £1 million would have anything other than a negative effect on your personality. And I don't really think you deserve the title of Ultimate Survivor. That, I feel, belongs to this man. Johnny, if you do win the money, don't spoil your nephew too much. Seek professional advice. But most of all, please, please, please go and see a hairdresser and get a professional opinion on that ridiculous hair colour. Good luck, guys.
You're 2 ahead now, Johnny. Did you expect that from your mate?
See, I'm always 98% certain, never 2%. So I'm very grateful and owe your pint as well, mate.
2 votes then for John, none for Susanna. Then it was Bridget's turn to vote. She comes second out of the urn. Johnny. Let's hear now what Bridget had to say.
I would like the £1 million to go to Johnny. And my reasons are this. I have said so many things about Johnny, him being one of the most genuine blokes I've met in a very long time. But not only that, he has learnt so much, so many other skills which he didn't have when he came to the island. He went to learn about it, and he has come out of this a superb bloke. I wish you all the best in the world, and we will see you again soon. This goes with my love. Take care, mate.
Oh, well, Susanna. Susanna, are you pretty disappointed not to get Bridget's vote?
To be honest, I mean, I've kind of been expecting Johnny to kind of get a lot of the votes, so I've been preparing myself for it in some ways. I knew that it was a high-risk strategy taking Johnny through, but we'd made a promise very early on to take each other through, hopefully to the last 2, and to not vote against each other. So I just kind of felt that that's something I had to stick to, and just got to kind of get through this. And yeah, but Bridge is great, and I love her, and I hope she won't mind the things that I've said about her. And Johnny's a very worthy competitor, so...
Okay, well, the situation is that we have 3 votes. 3 votes. We have 3 votes now for Johnny, and we have none as yet for Susanna. Of course, were Johnny to win another vote, he would triumph. The next out of the pot is Dave. Johnny, you have it! You have it! £1 million! Johnny Gibb! Johnny Gibb!
Okay.
Absolutely, a fantastic moment. Can you believe that here's £1 million and in just a couple of seconds it's going to be yours? This is the sort of stuff that you had to use on the island. It's a mallet, you smash into the glass and you got it. Every one of those votes. So much money, I mean, look at it. Well done. Well done. This is Ruth. Do you feel fantastic? Well done. Let's have a look. Let's have a look now. Some of the votes that we didn't see. These are the votes we didn't see.
Johnny.
I'm giving Johnny my vote.
Johnny.
Serious party time here. I can confirm to you that it was 7-0 in the end. Johnny won it 7-0. Don't forget, live now on ITV2, you can catch the winner at the press conference and more interviews with the survivors. That's it. He's won £1 million. Good night from us.